Good afternoon. These comments were left for me on my Real Tyranny Barkin' While Parkin' video from this morning. Surface seems to have a real issue because the lawyer for Marquette County is actually attempting to defend Marquette County Sheriff's Department. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy that an attorney would try to defend his client? And because he's trying to defend his client, he is a level 12 cop sucker badge kissing lawyer. No, he is a lawyer who has been hired either by the Marquette County Sheriff's Department or by Marquette County to be their attorney. I mean, this isn't rocket science here. I mean, it is the attorney's job to defend and advocate for his client. And just because you are biased incredibly against the cops doesn't mean that the cops aren't entitled to an attorney. If they can afford an attorney, they can have an attorney in a civil case. If they can't afford an attorney in a criminal case, they have the right to an attorney being appointed for them. Michael Lucas says, don't look for do the right thing ethics on a lawyer channel. There's a reason why lawyers are universally despised. Yes, small-minded people can't really figure things out very well, and so they pick a side and they just show their bias. I have to remind everybody at this point that a lawyer, me, made the Real Tyranny video where I called what the cop did tyranny. I have to remind everybody that Leonard French, who is also an attorney, made the original video that I linked to in the description and that I talked about, that I used as a reference point. It upset me and it upset Mr. French. Now, because there is an attorney on the other side doesn't mean anything to me. That is literally his job, to defend his client. You take it personally because you're a fucking idiot. He takes it as his job. It is literally his job. Now, the Sixth Amendment to the Constitution, which is right here, says you have the right to assistance of counsel for your defense in a criminal trial. And if you're indigent, then you have the right to have one appointed for you at the state's expense if you can't afford to pay for one. Cops have that right. Pedophiles have that right. People who are innocent have that right. And people who are guilty for that right have that right. Because there is more to justice than having the determination of guilt or innocence. There's also sentencing. And sentencing can be strongly influenced even on a guilty client. You may still be able to influence the outcome of the trial in such a way as to get a reduced sentence for your client. And he has that right. You have to remember that there is an attorney on the other side, the prosecutor, who's doing everything in his power to enhance the sentence. You're trying to get your client to be found not guilty, or as WTT and Earl would say, found innocent, whereas the prosecutor is doing his best to have your client found guilty. Now, they're both attorneys. One of them's going to have a client who is right, either the state is right or the defendant is right, and one of them is going to have a client that's wrong. But they're just literally doing their jobs. Now, you probably also have a right to an attorney, generally speaking, under the 14th Amendment, Section 1, where no state will deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. Due process of law, one of those things is that you may need an attorney in order to get justice, in order to get or prevent the loss of something that is rightfully yours. So justice sometimes demands that you have an attorney. Now, I understand that you don't have the right to an attorney, like in California, you don't have the right to an attorney in a small claims case. I get that, or at least they can't represent you in court. I get that. But for the big stuff, at least in California and every other state I am aware of, you have the right to have an attorney represent you in most civil matters, small claims being a potential exception. Now, how is an attorney supposed to represent you? This is the model penal code. This is in their preamble section. But this is kind of an amalgamation of Rule 1.1 and 1.3, I think. The model rules, no state has the model rules as they're exactly written. At least not that I'm aware of. They all kind of take bits and pieces of them. It's kind of like the UCC. Every state implements it differently. The Uniform Commercial Code that sovereign citizens love to talk about. Speaking of sovereign citizens, the Sixth Amendment right to counsel. Counsel means attorney. That's done and dusted. It doesn't mean you get to have Bubba Joe sit at the counsel table with you. It does mean attorney. But anyway, back to the rules of professional responsibility. As a representative of clients, a lawyer performs various functions. As advisor, a lawyer provides a client with an informed understanding of the client's legal rights and obligations and explains their practical implications. So the attorney for the sheriff has probably explained to the sheriff that the sheriff is on incredibly shaky ground and that they are probably going to lose, but the lawyer will do his best to represent the sheriff's best interest because that's what his job is. As an advocate, a lawyer zealously asserts the client's position under the rules of the adversary system. And that's what he's going to do in public. He's going to zealously advocate for his client's position. In court, in interviews, he's going to zealously advocate his client's position. Now, that's not his position. It doesn't say as advocate, as lawyer zealously asserts his own position. No, he zealously asserts the client's position. As a negotiator, the lawyer seeks a result advantageous to the client, but consistent with the requirements of honest dealings with others. One of the potential things that lawyer may be doing, I don't know his particular strategy, but he may be using these public statements as a way to perhaps place public pressure on Cahoon to retract her lawsuit. Oh, the sheriff are really busy dealing with COVID, so you really should cut him some slack or something. I don't know. That's not my position, by the way. Fuck the sheriff. He fucked up. He should pay for it. But that's what his advocate would probably be trying to say. And so, as an evaluator, a lawyer acts by examining a client's legal affairs and reporting about them to the client or to others. In this particular case, the attorney most likely has examined the sheriff's legal affair and determined all the potential pitfalls and opportunities and has reported them most likely to the county managers as well as to the sheriff. So the lawyer is doing what he's supposed to be doing. He hasn't done anything unethical. In fact, he is operating within the bounds of ethics as far as I'm aware. So we'll wait to see where that goes. But it just always humors me that these people they just have to go straight to biased partisan. I mean, they can't do anything. They can't look at anything objectively. Like, I don't like what the sheriff did. I don't like it at all. It really pisses me off. But that's one action that sheriff did. I mean, that sheriff might have saved 1,000 babies' lives. Surfith doesn't know that. Lucas doesn't know that. In their mind, he did one bad thing, and he's a sheriff. Ergo, screw him. Probably just the fact that he's a sheriff is bad enough. I mean, obviously all cops are bad. I'm sure that they'd have a field day with cashiers at Walmart. I'm sure every cashier at Walmart ever has been short or over in their till at the end of the night. 2 cents, 10 cents, $2, whatever. I'm sure Surfith and Michael Lucas are going to hold them to the same standards as they do with the police, who are operating a lot of times under a lot of pressure. Now, I'm not saying that this particular case with this particular sheriff was them operating under a lot of pressure. I think they just straight fucked up. But I don't even know where I'm going. I guess I'm rambling at this point. Anyway, thanks for watching and have a great evening.